Quicksand Jesus from Skid Row's second album, Slave to the Grind. This is one of my favourite songs off my favourite Skid Row album. I'm going to do some more off this album. It's so great, and everybody plays so amazing on this song. The bass is incredible, the drums are incredible, the vocal, come on. All right, we're going to talk about a couple of the guitar parts. The intro, as you saw at the beginning, was tab, so we'll talk through that a little bit. You don't need to be in a different tuning, but to get it exactly like studio, you will tune one string differently. Talk about that in a second. And we'll talk about some of the rhythm guitar that I think is a Strat, and then we might talk a little bit about the solo. All right. So when I went to learn this, it's funny, I remember reading an article when I was in school in the 90s that Dave, the Snake Sabo, he had tuned a string differently, and I was learning it thinking, I really remember him, what was that? And then as I was learning it, it all makes sense. So what am I talking about? Well, the A string is going to be tuned up to a C. So instead of an open A, it's going to be an open C. And he does that. I'll show you why he does that. Now, you don't need to do it, especially if you're playing it with a band, with a group. You're not going to need to. The bass will cover that note. And it makes sense because, you know, then you can't play the rest of the song in this tuning. So, but anyway, I'll show you the way it is on the album. Now, we're playing little 3-note chords here with a drone bottom E at the beginning. And we've got the 3 notes on the D, G, and B. So we're doing something like this. Oh, tone-wise, excuse the artificial tone. I went to try a simulator sort of 12-string on the Kemper. Kind of sounds a bit funny, but I went with it anyway. Okay, so that's the first part. You're hitting the open E, letting that ring out, and you're playing the 3 notes underneath. There is the tab. Again, it's an E minor idea, an E natural minor, okay? It's actually tricky. You have to arch your fingers up a lot because there are always notes sort of behind the finger that you're playing on the D string, so you really got to arch those fingers up. It's not that it's super quick, but it's not slow either, so it's kind of tricky. Now that is all straight standard tuning. It's when you go to the next part, he hits there's that C note there, okay? And he plays exactly the same thing on top. And then we're back to E. There's one very slight change at the end. That part. Just pulling off the first fret on the B string. Okay, that's that intro, and Snake will play that, you know, all the way through. He does go into some strummy stuff, but I'm not going to look at that today in this tuning. We'll talk about that when I think the Strat comes in. Okay, so that acoustic is kind of a little bit in the left channel. Partway through the verse, a more distorted guitar comes in. I probably got a little bit more distortion because I left the same sound for when the super humbuckery guitar comes in. Anyway, it sounds like a Strat to me. Again, slightly in the right channel, Scotty Hill. Sounds like a Strat. I went looking at the video clip, and he's playing a Strat in the video clip. I couldn't see whether the bridge pickup was a single coil or a humbucker, but it's got that single coil sound. So I went with this guy, and he's playing. I mean, the whole thing's E minor. There's 4 chord shapes of E minor, E natural minor. So that's what he's playing, starting with a sort of a reverse rake. Is that the right way to say it? On E minor, right? And then he's got. Okay, those sorts of things there. So the E minor, and then that bluesy, right? Just hit the top strings, and then a full step bend, 2nd fret on the G string, to the C sus2 chord shape that everybody knows. He's going to open D, and he kind of slides in from nowhere on the F sharp, and then hits the open E. Okay, and we're going to, I suppose, the pre-chorus. We're going a D5 to that C sus2 to an E minor, but he's going to play an E minor up here, E minor 7. So okay, those sorts of things. So a straight D5, the C sus2. The E minor 7 up here is coming off the open E, and then he'll flatten the finger and bring the chords on. Okay. And then second time, we've got a B minor 7, but lift your fingers up to get the open G string to E minor. Now that next one's really hard. I can't hear what he's doing. It sounds like that. I'm playing E minor 7, so 2nd fret on the D, open G, 3rd fret on the B, then open E, bend into it with your whammy bar. Okay, again, more of those bluesy. Okay, now that slide the D, really common in blues, right? Slide the 3rd fret up to the 5th with the open E. Kind of a bend from above. Again, the C sus2, then open D. Okay, really nice, great guitar parts there. It's got another one there where it sounds like it's harmonics on the 12th fret. Okay, that's broadly what he's doing there. They're going to the 2nd pre-chorus, which is the same as the pre-chorus we saw before, but at the end, they bring an extra chord in there, okay? Great chord, right? So you're on that B minor 7 with the open G. Basically move your finger down to B flat, playing 1, 3, 0, 3. And then we come in finally to the chorus. I'm going to switch guitars, let's talk about that. So the chorus, I was a little bit lazy. I left the same sound. I just grabbed this guitar. Why? It's a hot guitar. The pickups are really hot. So humbucker, basically same thing. Now this is Dave in the left channel, balancing out what Scotty's doing in the right channel. So this is the chorus. We've got an E5, G5, A5. so great. Chords themselves, look, it's basically all power chords, E5, G5, A5. Second time it's E5, G5, D5 to the C. And then when the drums are doing those, dun, 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 da. Okay, this is coming out of this last time, E5, G5, A5, B5, and then D5, G5, E. And, thinking about it, I don't even think this is the chorus. It's sort of another part. The chorus really only comes in after the guitar solo, which is really great sort of arranging wise. That reminds me, where they are doing the chorus, it's C5, D5, E5. All right, not going to do the solo today, but if you're interested, let me know. Maybe I'll do a lesson on that. Scotty Hill is such a great lead player. All those really tasteful, ballady, emotional or whatever. He does a lot of those. It actually sounds like, definitely, I actually thought it was two of them bouncing off each other because you can hear there's obviously different takes. I think it's 4 different chunks where they use different guitars or whatever. So I thought it was Scotty bouncing between Dave. But seeing it live, Scotty always does it. So maybe that's just the way they did it in the studio. Anyway, Quicksand Jesus from Skid Row. Good luck. See you next time.